This weekend, workers used a giant crane to remove the first piece of the mangled steel from the remains of the fallen Francis Scott Key Bridge. The first step to eventually fully reopening the port, but that's going to take a long time. Earlier today, the captain of the port established a small temporary channel to allow smaller ships into the harbor. President Biden is going to head to Baltimore this Friday, the White House announced, to view the wreckage. Joining me now from Baltimore, Acting Secretary of Labor, Julie Su. Madam Secretary, thank you for being with us. We know that we heard that there were 8,000 workers impacted immediately. What are your concerns? Is there anything that you can do to ameliorate their problems? Any payments, temporary jobs? Tell us what you're working on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. As you know, this tragedy really does impact working people. When we look at it, we look at basically three categories. You know, the first is obviously support for the families of the workers who tragically lost their lives. The second is the workers who are doing the difficult, important work of the cleanup and eventually the rebuild, making sure that they are protected. And then the third is the workers who are impacted by the closures, including the closure of the ports. That is about 15,000 direct jobs at the Port of Baltimore and about 140,000 indirect jobs, and making sure that those workers are secure, you know, get the benefits that they're entitled to. And during this time of great uncertainty, when we don't yet know how long it's going to take to reopen, although, you know, we're all in on making sure that that happens as quickly and safely as possible, that those workers also have economic security during this time.
And you met with the Longshoremen's Union, so what did they tell you?
Yeah, I mean, this is an anxious time for them, right? Again, they're looking at, there's still some work that's being done, right? Some work that was already in the port. But the question of how long it's going to take to reopen is very much top of mind. My message to them was that the moment that the bridge collapsed, the president thought about the working men and women who make this country run. And his instruction to all of us is to do everything that we can to make sure that that we mitigate the anxiety and the harms of this moment, including the economic security of workers who are going to be out of work for some period of time through no fault of their own. So we're looking at ways to shore up benefits, make sure that they get the benefits to which they're entitled, and make sure that we make up shortfalls. And
briefly, the immediate victims, of course, those who died, were mostly immigrants from Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, some of the least protected workers in our country. Is there anything special that can be done for these groups?
That's right. Thank you for noting that. You know, these are workers who were working, you know, in the middle of the night, right? Oftentimes, they are both literally and figuratively invisible in the work that they do. You know, immigrant workers, in fact, Latino immigrant workers in 2021 made up just over 8% of the employed workforce in the country, but over 14% of workers who died on the job through, you know, some kind of accident or other disaster. And it's very important for us to make sure that all workers are protected on the job. This is, you know, unconscionable. And you know, oftentimes workers are the last to know when there is some kind of, you know, something that's going to happen, right, when there's a Mayday call or the like. And so we're looking at the lessons of this and to make sure that we protect all working people when they're on the job.
Thank you so much, Madam Secretary. Acting Secretary Julie Su.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.